next comedian, I'm going to segue. Our next comedian is Sophia. Sophia, she's multi-millionaire, Chicago-based comic hailing from central Iowa, Transylvania, and Canada. Her offensive internet comments have gotten her banned from the Humans of New York Facebook page, as well as countless chain restaurants. And she performs at Beast Village Comedy Festival, Blue Whale Comedy Festival, and once opened for her soulmate, Tony Clifton. So, anyway, come on up.
Alright, you guys, you want to see asshole number 9? Alright, yes! Okay, cool. Alright. Love this. Okay. I want to start off with an impression of my father, you guys. Sounds just like him. My dad always tells me he wants to do stand-up, but whenever we talk on the phone, he's always horking. Or whenever we, talk on the phone, he's always horking directly into the phone. So this is my dad doing stand-up. You guys ready?
Yeah.
Alright.
I want to wear a big pearl necklace and ride my bike by Nancy Pelosi's and taunt her all night.
Alright, that's it, you guys. Thank you. Alright, yeah, thank you. Lots of Uber stories. My Uber name is Pharaoh. So when they pick me up, they're like, Pharaoh! Pharaoh! No joke. Alright, cool. I just got this haircut a few months ago. I feel like it makes me look like an illiterate Matilda. So my last name is Smarandescu. It's Romanian. My Romanian grandmother recently turned 102 years old this year, you guys. That's super impressive. That's like 700 American years. But my parents are raised in communism. Alright. They're raised in communism, but it wasn't like the millennial kind of communism, you know, right? They didn't pick it up in college. Because there's two kinds of communism, you guys. There's college communism you get from reading books, and then there's real communism where they burn your books. One of the ways you can tell that my dad was raised in communism is he uses the word poison in an unusual amount in conversation. Like when I was a kid, he took me to Disney World, and as soon as we stepped in the park, he turned to me and was like, "We have to leave. I've been poisoned." It's like, you can just admit you hate it here. Using poison as an excuse to get out of something is the Iron Curtain edition, The Dog Ate My Homework. But the other way you can tell my dad was raised in communism, anytime he wants to say something racist, he doesn't post about it on Facebook. But he'll just dial up the volume on the stereo so the government doesn't hear. It's pretty weird hearing that Argentinians are bloody liars that beat in my hips don't lie. Big stereotypes, so it's not racist. Okay. Everyone thinks my parents are nuts. Yes, yep, that's my friend clapping. Okay. It makes sense though, my dad's family was exiled, right? Someone who's been exiled is never going to use the phrase, "I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed." Instead they're just like, "When I die, then you'll know!" Hope these are thick walls. Alright, okay. Anybody here ever been to Germany? I went to Germany earlier this year. Yes, yep. Give it up for those folks. When I was there, I stayed at an Airbnb just outside of Berlin, and if you're not familiar with Airbnb, Airbnb is for staying with racist people you're not related to. That's what it is. But I got to this Airbnb, I was hanging out in Berlin, I got to this Airbnb. The first thing that happened is the host swung open the door and he was like, "Good evening, miss. Where did you come from?" I was like, "I just came from Berlin." And he was like, "Berlin? Romanians are ruining Berlin." I was like, "Hey, wait a second, I'm Romanian." He was like, "Oh, I am so sorry. It's just the Romanian mafia is terrible, yes. They steal and then they fall asleep at the train station." It's like, what are you complaining about? That's the laziest mafia I've ever heard of. I love the idea of abandoned narcoleptic thieves. I think the lazy Nazi mafia would treat disposing of a dead body like I handle a Goodwill donation, right? Just like forget it in the trunk for 3 weeks. You can tell how affluent a country is just based off their mafia's activity, right? Like the Italians, they got extortion, murder. Romania, forgery napping, you guys. It's a poor people joke if you don't get it, okay. Love laughing at poor people. It's okay though, because I grew up poor, you guys. Yep. I was so poor growing up, I had to take tennis lessons from this guy named Pervert Mike. Perverts make the best coaches, okay. It's true. It's gross, yeah. I've been in therapy for 10 years, you guys. I am not that old. It's been a while. My therapist recently asked me if my family has a history of depression. It was like, lady, I was born in Eastern Europe. Like, just look at their faces, you know. Like, we don't have resting bitch face there. We have resting turmoil face. My family's so depressed. My mother was once sad, and that was the happiest she ever was. So depressed they are. It's true. My friend's laughing because my mother is miserable. Okay. That was him saying yes. Okay, cool. Talk to me after if you have a miserable mom. We can bond, right? My dad's name, I was talking about my dad, I'm gonna go back to talking about him. His name is Basarab, you guys, as in, a Basarab that ass! Growing up, I love the way my dad said certain words like millionaire. Millionaire! Growing up, he liked to keep me grounded by always reminding me that I'm not a millionaire. And he would do this just by randomly shouting at me when I was doing normal things. He'd be like, "You're not the millionaire!" It's like, I know, we live behind the big lots, okay? But he also said when something good happened, he'd be like, "It's nice, right? It's like we are a millionaire!" Just a Denny's, okay? Denny's and Big Lots, that was my life, yep. I went through a breakup earlier this year. Anyone doing that right now? Yes. You just got engaged, sir. That's my friend. All right. I keep talking about him. I'm gonna shut up. Okay. I was breaking up in public a lot with my last relationship. Anybody here do that? I should try it.
Yes.
You have? Okay. You'll have to tell me, sir. But you can usually, sorry, I'm being really socially awkward, can you tell? You can usually tell when a couple is breaking up in public. They're usually like wistfully gazing at each other with tears in their eyes. But when me and my ex were breaking up in public, I jumped up on a picnic table and I screamed, "Fine, leave me!" That's how you know I'm an athlete, you guys. Right? Like, he made me so mad I figured out how to jump. Next breakup, make throw, shot put, javelin. Okay, alright. I'm crazy. I went skiing a lot with my ex-boyfriend. We went skiing a lot. Classic relationship ending activity. But we went skiing. One time we went skiing with like my ex and one of his friends. It was just kind of this like older female acquaintance. That's just a long way of calling someone a bitch. I was so uncomfortable when we went skiing together though. They were like flirting the whole time. I was just like seized up. It was so uncomfortable. And we were at some point we were like sitting up on the ski lift just hundreds of feet up in the air, and she turned to us and was like, you know, I kind of have a huge confession to make. She was like, I'm kind of a huge cougar. She was like, I love younger men. I was like, that's cool you mentioned you love younger men. Because I love to push older women off the ski lifts. That's why I have to move here. Yep, court ordered. Okay, cool. So I've lived briefly in Montana. Anybody ever heard of it? All right. Yeah, I moved from over here. Yep. And there's a lot of Mormons in Montana, and Mormons, they all believe they all get their own like special heaven that's full of their extended family. It's like, that's not heaven, that's just Thanksgiving. You know? You guys, you see what I'm doing up here? I'm doing stand-up, right? But I'm not very talented. Like, if I were, like, a musician, I could, like, sing when I'm, like, doing the dishes, taking a shower. But, like, when I take a shower, the only thing I can do is just practice shutting down hecklers, you guys. So, for those of you that have never heard it, this is what it sounds like when I'm taking a shower. You guys ready? Yeah. Okay, great.